You know what the problem is? I keep telling y'all all my damn business. That's the problem. What's good? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Corey. If you're not new, you're probably like, oh my God, she never films from this angle. You're also probably not thinking that. But if you happen to be thinking that at this time of day, apparently this is how I film because this is where the sun is at. I don't know, over there was looking janky. So we're over here. I tried to clean up as best as possible. That being said, focus here, okay? Today, I'm gonna go ahead and show you all my very, very lazy media kit. I say lazy because it is probably one of the smallest, shortest, least involved media kits I've seen personally, but it gets the job done. It works very well. So let's jump right into it. Before I show you the actual media kit, I do want to kind of express my general thoughts on how you can structure yours and like the context of mine and all that stuff. So back a couple years ago, I was going to say way back when, it was like yesterday, but a couple years ago when I was looking up other people's media kits, well, let's rewind. First of all, a brand or two or three had asked me for my media kit. I didn't know what they meant at the time. And so I started doing my Googles, of course, and I see what I'm supposed to provide. Now, once I actually saw what I was looking for, it didn't look too foreign to me because I've seen things similar from other friends in other professions who provide media kits as well. I didn't know that you would have one as a creator, influencer as well at this point in time. And so I'm like, oh, well, damn, everybody keeps asking for one. I got to go get one. Now, when I was looking up these media kits, I kept seeing documents like ebooks, and I'm like, why is this? Who's reading all 6 pages of this? I'm confused. And so I thought that's what I needed at first. I ultimately decided that's not what I needed. No shade to those who have longer media kits. I just personally, in the time we are in currently, where everything is real fast paced, the attention spans get shorter and shorter and shorter by the day. So I knew that definitely wasn't the route I was going to go in, because not only would I not have read a media kit that long, I wasn't about to make one that long. And that's what I mean by my media kit is lazy. Ultimately, I ended up taking information from here, there, everywhere, and seeing what would work best for me and what wouldn't work for me. But keep in mind, the keyword here is for me. So as I walk you through my media kit, some of this may apply to you, some of it may not. There may be other things that work better for you. It might be more beneficial for you to have different pages on your media kit, all of that. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm literally just letting you be in my business. That's really all this is right here. I'm not an expert, but I'm telling you it works. I'm just saying it works. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. This is my beautiful, loud media kit. The very first thing you see is a picture of myself, because I do want these people to know who they're talking to. And also the picture is just cute. So that's that. My name and title. Now, titles are iffy because we're all creators. If you have a media kit, you're a creator of some sort. So that's there. It's unnecessary, but I like to include that there as well. I think if I were to go in and change this or update this today, which it does need to be updated, by the way, I would probably put a title that is a little more pointed towards my niche. If I can find a word or two that describes what type of creator I am, not digital creator, but like you could say lifestyle creator, food creator, whatever. There's something to be said there with your title, but that's what I got right now, and that's just what it's going to be for now. To the right of that, I have my short bio. Now, I say short bio. This is one single sentence, which now that I'm reading it could also use an update. Before I have to say that 40,000 times, this is slightly out of date. I did quickly update the numbers, a ballpark of what I think my followers are currently, but all the other numbers, the engagement, the percentages, all this other stuff is like my original media kit from when I first made it. Eventually, I'm going to update this, but this is just to give you a gist of what's going on. So the short bio, I chose a short bio because here's my logic. Hear me out. If someone is requesting a media kit from you, 9 times out of 10, I would go as far as to say 10 times out of 10. They have been on your socials already. They have seen who you are. They kind of got a gist of who you are, what you do, all of that, right? And so I don't need them to read my life story. It's just a little reminder, a little razzle dazzle. In case you forgot, this is what I look like and this is what I do. That's it. I've seen plenty of people's media kits that have the whole first entire page as a bio, and I love that for certain instances, but I think in this, like, for this purpose, is you can just do a sentence. But if you want to do a page, do a page. I mean, I'm just saying. Underneath that, I have my handle, again, to remind them. I have the same handle everywhere, and so it shouldn't be too hard. You don't have to ask where to find me. It's the same thing every single place. And then my email right next to it. Those things are on there. Of course, if someone's hitting me up for my media kit, they probably have those as well. But I have those on there in case my media kit floats elsewhere, if it gets beyond the person that contacted me. And so again, that one sentence is a reminder. They can find out more if they really, really want to know more about me and my life story. They can find out more on my socials. My email is there for them, all that. So that's great. That's the boring stuff. Underneath that, immediately underneath that, we get into what they are really looking for. The purpose of it is to show the brand or whomever your value, what value you can offer to them. And so what they are most interested in is your audience, what your audience likes, or what you typically provide for your audience, and how much they engage with that content that you typically provide for them. So that's what I focused on for the remainder of this single sheet. This is the whole thing. Right next to my follower accounts for my main platforms, I have Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I previously only had Instagram and TikTok. As you all may or may not know, I just started this channel officially or consistently in January. Prior to January, I had 2 videos uploaded from like November and December before that. And so I count this year as the start of my channel. And so prior to January, I didn't have YouTube on there at all. I think once I hit 1,000 subscribers on here, I was like, let me just throw it on there, whatever. Right? That would be why you see more detailed information about my Instagram and my TikTok, because those are larger audiences. I have much more data to provide, whereas YouTube was a little different. I think I will update this to add more info. I would like to do it when I have more subscribers, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this is going to work out. But anyway, so for Instagram, for example, I state my number of followers. I have the breakdown of men to women and my most popular age range that follows me. And then I have my top cities in there as well. People kind of sometimes ignore that. Brands do ask for that. That is information they are interested in. If a brand is looking to tap into a particular market and you are not in that market, or you're in that market and your audience is not. So for me, for example, when I first moved to Atlanta from New York, my audience was mostly in New York at the time because that's where I lived. That's who I was reaching. And so me being fresh into a new city, though I am technically in this market, my audience was not. And so someone who might be looking to tap into Atlanta or just the South in general might look at that and be like, oh, she might not be a right fit for us at this time. Of course, over time, I built up my Atlanta market, and so that is now at this point, it could be my number 1 market. I don't know. But I would suggest including your top cities. Beneath that, I have an engagement rate. And so there's plenty of calculators online where you can just do your Googles. There's plenty of places online where you can find out how to get your engagement rate. There are actual formulas. There are websites. If you're going to use websites, I would use multiple of them because some of them simply just cannot be trusted. Okay, you plug in your information into this website and then this one and then this one, and only 2 of them have the same engagement rate. Just use multiple so that you can kind of figure out which ones are accurate and which ones aren't. There are also formulas posted online. There's plenty of things. Some brands, when they reach out to you, will actually provide a system that they would like for you to calculate your engagement rate with. Some of them just ask for straight up screenshots of your last few posts or whatever the case may be. I just offer this so that they at least have a general ballpark of what it could be at any given moment. So that's in there. Same thing for TikTok. TikTok, I don't think, or at the time that I make this, did not do city by city breakdowns, and so I could only express that most of my audience is in the U.S., which, duh, I live here, but is there anyway? Because I felt like putting that, you'd be surprised how many international companies hit you up, especially when it comes to TikTok, but they do want U.S.-based influencers, so that's that. So let's go over to the left side. So on the left, we have popular content. All these things are linked, by the way. So if you click on the Instagram icon, it goes to my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It all goes to where it needs to go. And so popular content, I express click to view so that you can see an example of what I'm expressing on this document. These are my 4 categories that I selected to say, like, this is what I post about the most. Again, this was before, and so I probably should update this as well, but it's basically the same. It's about the same. Vlogs was my number 1, and so you click on that, it opens up to one of my day in the life nobody asked for videos. When you click on product photography, it basically it might go to that exact photo or post, but it'll go to any sponsorships that I've had that required a static Instagram photo as part of the deliverables. So that is something that brands ask for a lot, and so I want to include an example of that directly on here. career gems or any reels or whatever, TikToks, whatever, where I share just information, tips, guides, things like that for people in the design space or creative space. And then how I use is basically any content that I share that shows how I utilize any software, hardware, products, whatever, in my day-to-day. Going over to key topics, this is the area where I use my keywords, basically. So someone who's asked me for my media kit might be from an agency and not from the brand themselves. Brands hire agencies to then find the influencers that they want to work with. And so the agency may receive a brief or something, some kind of guidelines that express what exactly the brand is looking to do, who they're looking to talk to, what type of niches that would work best in, whatever. I basically express a full list of keywords that would apply to me and what I do and what my audience likes. And so I gave you examples to click on previously over in popular content. The key topics will basically, it's almost like the SEO of those videos. My day in a life videos, yes, it is a vlog, but it also has to do with mental well-being, and it has to do with career development, professional development. It has to do with personal development. So all those things, those are the keywords. And so that's what I'm going to list in my key topics. It's just for someone in case they don't click on the actual video or don't fully watch any of the content or whatever. It's right there for you. I did the work for you. You know what I do. I'm telling you, this is what I work in. If it applies, hit me up. Lastly, on here, previous collaborations, I included some of the brands that I worked with before. Again, these are all hyperlinked, so you can click on any of these logos and get directly to the post or one of the posts that was sponsored by that brand. This is just helpful for brands and agencies to see your specific sponsored content rather than your everyday. They're gonna like both, but it's interesting to see what you can do when it comes to sponsored content or how you handle sponsored content. Now, one thing you do not see on here would be what? Prices. That's right. I'm not putting prices on here. The same reason why I think that I don't include pricing on my website for any client-based services. I just don't include pricing unless it's stated as a starting point. I think my pricing in particular, this is my preference. I just also suggest this preference should be applied to other people, but I prefer that my pricing remains on a range. I think that what I request for certain offers or certain deliverables, sets of deliverables, is a case-by-case basis. I would not charge the same for a brand of this size as I would for a brand of this size. Sometimes the same deliverable is actually worth a different value. If two brands of the same size ask me for the same exact list of deliverables, but one of them would like to use that content for the next year in any way they would like, and they would also ask that I don't work with any of their competitors for the next year as well, I probably would never do that, but the exclusivity clause is always there most of the time, and so that's something to consider, but a year is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, let's say one of them did want me to only work with that brand and no other competitors for the next year, that brand would have to pay much more. And so all that to say, I'm not putting prices on here. I discuss rates in the email itself. This media kit is strictly, it's not a price list. It's strictly so that you can see the value that I offer and then match that up to whatever I said in the email about how much I would charge for your request, basically. So that's basically it. Like I said before, if you are someone that has a lot more information to offer, if you know you're getting into a specific type of content creation and you need to be more detailed or whatever the case may be, do what works for you. I'm just showing you a quick, lazy example. This took me probably an hour max. Yeah, get into it, do what you can. It doesn't have to be, I'm basically showing you this to show that you don't need to overthink. You could literally do this exact same layout if you like. I made this in Keynote, by the way. It's probably the fastest place for me to create a PDF. That's just like where my muscle memory works. If I need a PDF, I'm going to Keynote real quick. But yeah, don't overthink it. Put whatever you think makes you seem the most valuable in your media kit. If you don't have a niche or you have not niched down, the key topics is your place to shine because you can literally word it any way you like and make something, you can make anything fit. If you're deciding the key topics, you can make anything under the sun fit in those key topics. It's all up to you. I hope this was helpful. Again, as usual, if you have created your media kit already, comment down below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed or that you might use here or not, whatever. I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Just wanna chill and twist the lot. Catch stunts in my 745. You drive me crazy, shorty. I need to see you and feel you next to me. I provide everything.